I think this is the clip of Laura Ingraham having Kash Patel on. Is this? Yeah, it is. To cover his ass. We saw a little bit of this. I don't know how much more of it we will want to see, but I just want to see this dude. Like, this is. I love the apology tours when he's just out there. Maybe this is an audience of one clip. We'll see. We got a lot of stuff to cover, so if it's not interesting right away, fuck him.
Here to discuss is FBI Director Kash Patel. Mr. Director, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Where does this investigation tonight stand?
Well, first and foremost, our prayers to the family of the fallen soldier and our prayers to the family of hopefully this individual who continues to recover. This is
the National Guard troop. This would be also a soldier or whatever. Maybe you don't know their name. Maybe that's the problem.
Sprawling international terrorism investigation that the FBI is leading out on, and we are making sure to work
leading out
with our interagency partners, and I've already issued dozens of pieces of legal processes, dozens of devices already.
I've signed lots of pieces of paper. I don't understand at all things written. I wrote something on a napkin earlier, and also they gave me a stamp when I got the job. Whapack! Arrest someone. Whapack!
He hit 2 houses and interviewed many individuals associated with the subject.
They hit 2 houses. Just like Venezuelan fishing boats, you just bomb 2 houses in the Virginia area.
And that investigation is going to continue on to anyone and everyone this person ever spoke to.
That's a lot.
We're not going to leave any...
Really? You're literally... This is... are you sure we have the resources for everyone they ever spoke to? Maybe I'd call me nuts, and who am I to say I'm not the FBI director? But maybe narrow your focus to people they've spoken to with knowledge of, or participation in, or foreknowledge or awareness of the plot to do this, if there was one indeed, or anything leading up that was signs that did it, or support, or anything. Like, I narrow it down to about, I don't know, what do you think? Max 72 people, probably minimum about 8.
Unturned. We're going to collect the evidence. We're going to hand it off to our partners at DOJ and make sure he's prosecuted to the full extent of the law, and anyone else that was responsible for this vicious, heinous attack will be held to the same account.
Now, today...
do you think any other FBI would just go, look, the National Guard are here, you win some, you lose some.
The DHS...
This dickhead's patting himself on the back for how hard he's working. How many more are these of these? I gotta get to... the private jet's already fueled up and ready to go. My girl and I are going to UFC tonight. Okay. I mean, how much paperwork is there for 2 dead National Guard? Oh, one of them's not dead? Oh, okay.
Secretary Noem suggested that the suspect was radicalized here in the United States. What more can you tell us? Because that's what our viewers want to learn a lot about.
Oh, yeah. And that's what they come to Laura for, is to learn a lot of things. They want knowledge, details, reality.
Yes, and we'll speak to that publicly in our documents in court. That is a very much ongoing piece of our investigation.
Do you ever get the feeling that someone is just like quoting shit they've seen other people say? Just repeated, like they've watched enough Law and Order, or they've watched enough congressional hearings, and they watched other people really do their congressional hearings well and go, okay, what do they say to get out of this shit? I just blather. This is very much, we're putting our foot forward in the most forward-looking way to deal with this kind of thing at the highest levels of the most things that we can possibly, fullest extent, and we'll guarantee that we will look at all the angles that are definitely present here, but we are committed to understanding that'll be part of our ongoing, as I understand it to be.
Where and how he was radicalized, and we're working with our partners at DHS and everywhere else to make sure we speak in court with crystal clarity and unity, and we'll be doing so soon.
You're going to speak in court with crystal clarity. Not this muddled bullshit from these other dipshits Trump puts in charge of things. We're not going to let them slip through our fingers like Comey and Ray.
And the vetting process, Mr. Director, we raised red flags.
That's Madam Director to you. I don't have to remind you that he wears a women's medium.
About this back in 2021 on the angle, but that OIG report from 2022 says there were serious issues with the ability to vet Afghan refugees after that botched.
Same, by the way, same report, same people that are involved in the report that's shitting on him for his jacket stuff. Same people. The Office Inspector General, they reached out to the same people in the like present and former FBI about these kind of things, how things are normally supposed to work, whether they're failing or not, what to compare it to. Has it always been this fucked up or whatever? Right.
All out from Afghanistan. And one bill has already been introduced in Congress would mandate that all refugees be re-vetted. Do you think that is a good idea? Your reaction tonight to that?
They should be super vetted. Let's mega vet them. Especially the toddlers. Anybody with a wife and children, and the children are under the age of 10. Ask those kids some tough questions.
You hit it on the head. The problem with this case shows the emblematic failure of the Biden administration.
Sorry, real quick. The what?
The problem with this case shows the emblematic failure of the Biden administration.
Emblematic failure. Do you mean it's emblematic of the failures by the thing, or you meant systemic, but you couldn't think of it because your brain is tapioca because apparently Trump's syphilis is airborne?
That anyone who came here from Afghanistan after the disastrous withdrawal.
Yeah, they did. You had American soldiers fighting specifically for people that worked with them. That would constitute a version of vetting, I think, especially if they were bringing their families.
Zero. It's not like people were even partially vetted. They refused to do so. So it now falls to us in this administration to make sure we vet every single person that came in here legally or illegally or otherwise.
We're vetting everybody. Citizens, anybody. Look, I don't care if you came to America via your mom's vagina. We have some questions. This motherfucker is we're starting from scratch on everything. I don't know where anything goes.
Make sure there is no derogatory or criminal information or terrorist ties, and we are going to do that mission.
Mission. I like saying the word mission. It makes me look like I don't wear a women's medium raincoat.
And Mr. Director, another big issue that is concerning Americans, and it involves the refugee community, but in Minnesota, is the Treasury Department's investigation of that massive fraud there in the Somali community. So how is the FBI?
Yes, 86,000 Somalis in the general Minnesota area, 86,000. About 87% are naturalized citizens. They're not refugees. They're not here, with under an asylum case that's pending.
Working that, and what can you tell us tonight, given the plethora of reporting and the...
And while you're talking about it, can you tell us about Marjorie Taylor Greene's PPP loan that she didn't pay back, and she used some of the money to pay for her campaign, which is illegal? And does that have any reason why she's leaving, or is it really just because you've been redacting the Epstein files? Sorry to interrupt, but please.
Defensive posture of both the mayor and the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz.
Yeah, so defensive, trying to defend all the innocent Somalis from blanket attacks against them by the right wing because of the actions of some. Right.
What I can tell you is the FBI let out on an investigation, and we publicized it months ago. We've got 78 people that have been arrested.
Holy shit. 1 second, hold on. I should probably stick to the ones in, where is it? Yeah, I should probably stick to just Minneapolis, but let's see. U.S. Let's see. There are 260,000 Somalis living in the United States. Sorry. Okay. 260,000. And how many?
I let out on an investigation, and we publicized it months ago. We've got 78 people that have been...
78 people. And there's 260,000 Somalis. Okay. And sorry, how many was that again? 260,000 Somalians
The
living.
FBI let out on an investigation, and we publicized it months ago. We've got 78 people that have been arrested.
78, which is less than the 86 that they said last week, I guess. Yeah.
Pursuant to our investigation along with the interagency. And that investigation...
Pursuant to our investigation along with the interagency and also cooperation between our local law enforcement partners to make sure that we are dotting our I's and crossing our I's.
It's very much ongoing. We are not finished. It was one of the largest fraud scams ever committed in the state of Minnesota history.
In the state of Minnesota history. Which, I mean, look, many of us think Apollonia 6 was ripped off and that they were, they would have dwarfed the time even over a certain amount of, but I don't want to go there. I'm going to get upset. That's the problem I have with the discussion about Minneapolis right now. Prince was a god. God damn it.
And we are going to continue to interview and subpoena anyone involved with this case. It is very much ongoing and live.
Interview and subpoena anyone involved in this case. And what's your status for what's the qualification for being involved? Is it just Somalians? Is it just Minnesotans? Is it anyone who's seen the movie or series Fargo? I'll do a lot check. I'm gonna check the darn car.
There are a lot of foreign interests that seem to be causing trouble in the United States.
Like, you mean like Russia? Like Russia specifically interfering, like creating fake accounts on X that pretend to be giant MAGA accounts with millions, if not, hundreds of thousands of, if not millions of supporters or followers, or whether those are real or not, don't get me started. That are driving the political discourse and giving maggots the illusion that they have a lot more support than they do, or that they're, busy dunking on people and causing conflict in the United States. And it turns out they're from fucking Russia, Eastern Europe, Africa. Yikes, right?
And I know the FBI today announced that Chinese national pled guilty to smuggling dangerous pathogens into Michigan. In a student at the University of Michigan, that individual has been deported, a Chinese national.
Yeah, because that's the Trump standard. Bring a deadly pathogen into the United States with the intent of attacking our food supply, and you get a free flight home with a drink coupon. Yeah.
The question is, it seems like kind of a slap on the wrist deporting her back to China. A lot of people.
Yeah, it kind of does. It seems less like a slap on the wrist. It seems like a fucking favor, since she's going to get a hero's welcome.
On social media wondering, why didn't she do...
It's like if China tried to nuke Michigan and the nuke landed without detonating, and we gave it back to China and just said, hey, you dropped this. It didn't work. You might want to tinker with it for a while.
Jail time, or did you seek jail time here for her?
I gotta tell you, I don't know if that's fear in his eyes or he's like tapping the mute button every time he's, yeah.
Given the potential danger, sir, to our food supply, if this pathogen...
Yeah, it's weird. It's as if Laura can't allow certain bullshit to get past her because she'll lose her job.
Got out.
Look, I can only speak to the FBI's mission, and we've already arrested her along with multiple other individuals, including as recently as this past week, on related charges. And we're going to continue to arrest those individuals. And how the State Department and others deal with that matter is something.
Yeah, the State Department doesn't make a choice to deport someone that the DOJ can charge. The DOJ has to make a decision to charge them or not. And obviously, if they're guilty of something like this, they're either going to be charged, put in jail, or charged and deported. Or charged, put in jail, and then after they serve their time, deported, which is what it should be.
Thing that I would defer to them on.
Yeah, and Mr. Director, Democrats, and I know you know this, some never Trump Republicans, are salivating over a new report first obtained by the New York...
Okay, here it comes. This is you knew it was coming to bite you in the ass.
Host Miranda Devine, she came on last night, talked about it, that takes aim at the FBI under your leadership and that of your deputy, Dan Bongino. So you had current, some former FBI staffers, all anonymous, put together this 115-page report.
Because of fear of retaliation by dipshit and company.
And now, there was some very positive stuff in there, but the overall read was that the agency had become...
Yeah. Hey, dipshit, real quick. Real fucking quick. All right. Stop. I know what I need. I need, where is it? I have to have it's got to be in here somewhere. That's not what I want. I know. Where is it? Son of a bitch. Yeah, this is what I need. Stop right there. All right. What were the positives in that report, which I read, by the way, and I read a good portion of it on the show earlier this morning, the 115-page report on how it's a rudderless ship and how he's a glory-seeking dickhead and all that stuff, everything we knew. What really stood out? What was the positive Laura is talking about? The elimination of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion in hiring and positioning and promoting within the FBI. And they were very happy, these folks, both in and out, that they had gotten rid of that and that it was causing a lot of stuff. And let me tell you something, that very group wouldn't want her or him in charge of shit. He's a fucking DEI hire. He's completely unqualified. I would argue that it's borderline just like cronyism. Trump was rewarding one of his, lapdog supporters. But the fact that he is a brown person, a person of color, and he was given a job he is wholly unqualified for is exactly why the people that had a problem with DEI in the FBI were mad that it was instituted. And this is the fact that it's being called a rudderless ship is proof positive in their minds that Trump is engaging in DEI by hiring this dickhead, and they never want someone like her in charge. You understand? Women and people of color work twice as hard to get where you're going, and because they don't like that. That's the one part where they're like, this is pretty good. Except for that one big DEI hire. That's what they're talking about. Is that clear, chat room? Yeah. That is, I read through it. The one part where they're like, thank God DEI is gone. That's what she means. And the irony that she is talking to exactly the kind of person they're talking about when they're like, can we get rid of this DEI horseshit? Why are unqualified people of color being put into these positions? Because if we go against them, we will be decried as racist or bigots. Fucking hell. But derp.
I'm rudderless, and that you're more focused on your social media than doing your job. Now, I assume that these are just bitter deep staters, but what is your general reaction to...
I assume these are liars because they're the people who actually served in the FBI and put their lives on the line for decades in some cases and are currently doing it. And I assume those people are full of shit. But a former podcaster and a sycophant of the president being put at the top of the FBI, you're going to defer to this motherfucker.
These concerns raised about the state of the FBI 10 months into the Trump administration, part 2.
Yeah, look, anonymous sources always lie, results don't. I'll get to the results in a second. These anonymous sources were individuals from the Comey Ray era that weaponized the Department of Justice.
No. You can't assert that everyone who's still an FBI agent who served honorably for years through multiple heads changing, Comey or Ray or I don't know, some of them been in there for 30 years. You can't automatically say these people are from the Ray era. They weren't hired by him. They joined. This is not like the administration where you just find a bunch of fucking suck-ups and put them in positions of power. The FBI normally, except when this fucker and Bongholio are put in charge of things, they grow from within the ranks. So these people serve years, again, endangering their lives to earn the patches on their shoulders and the fucking right to wear a raid jacket. And this motherfucker cosplaying it and going, these fucking people, eat shit.
And cratered the public trust in the FBI.
No, they didn't. You did. You did. Donald Trump and all of his minions attacking the FBI is what made right-wingers finally attack the FBI when the left largely had been dealing with stuff from since fucking the 60s, that they had their issues with the FBI. That's what the tipping point was, that right-wingers suddenly started becoming anti-cop, anti-FBI because they were going after Trump because he's fucking guilty. He's an unrepentant sexual assaulter and a molester and was Jeffrey Epstein's fucking wingman for a quarter century. And he's a fraud. He committed financial fraud, actively chose to do it.
To something that was at levels that have never been seen. 35% public trust in the FBI when we came in 10 months ago. And now we're to believe that these anonymous sources...
Yeah, because maggots were against it.
...are the ones accusing this FBI, the most successful in history, of being...
No. No, not the most successful in history. Nonsense. Bullshit. Fuck you. Shame on you. How dare you besmirch the decades of like the FBI doing all kinds of great work over the decades, like never set aside the issues that they have had, but all the good work that they have done. The idea that this asshole's like, I came in fucking 6 months, I'm the best ever. Piss off.
Let's just look at the results. If we were so rudderless and we sent our mission out into the country and around the world, how would we have arrested 25,000 violent felons this year alone? That.
One moment, please. Sorry. Let's hear that again. And then I want to share. Fuck me. Then I would like to share something with you.
And around the world. Results. If we were so rudderless and we sent our mission out into the country and around the world, how would we have arrested 25,000 violent felons this year alone?
25,000 violent felons this year alone. How in the world? Well, the FBI arrests a significant number of individuals for violent crimes each year, but the exact number of arrests for violent felons specifically is not precisely tracked in public FBI data. However, FBI statistics show that nationwide, law enforcement made approximately 521,103 arrests for violent crimes in 2018 and 495,871. The difference is that the locals and the states usually make the arrest. The FBI helps catch the person, but the charges are largely not federal. Same in all these things. Even in the case of, like, he's going to count Tyler Robinson, for example. But he was arrested by the locals because it's a local crime that they helped with. I'm certain that, let's see, breakdown of violent crimes. Let's see, FBI persons arrested. FBI's Uniform Crime Reporting Program control. Okay, that's the amount of data on there. Criminal and statistics. FBI chief dismissed rudderless crane counts record 25,000. Yeah, that's what he's talking about in here. Crime Data Explorer. With the user's going to. Yep. Our FBI arrest public record. No. You can request your own record or information from the FBI. So you can just make up any number he wants. Make a request through the FBI's FOIPA. National Crime Database thing, which is not open to the public, of course. All right. So, how many were last year? Probably the same, about the same. How many the year before that? Probably about the same.
That's twice as many as last year alone.
Because you're taking credit for twice as many as last year alone. The FBI last year didn't take credit for local arrests that they even participated in.
How would we have arrested 35% more spies from Russia, China, and Iran than last year alone? How would we have...
Because there are more of them because they thought they would be okay. Also, did you arrest them or did you process them to go to the DOD? I mean, the DOJ. The DOD doesn't exist anymore. Let's see. FBI arrests spies. 33, what is it, 33%? Nope. Nope. Okay, maybe not.
Found 6,000 children and identified them. That's up 22% from last year alone. We have taken down criminal networks and those that wish to do harm to our children. We have arrested in the 764 category, the nihilist violence extremist network, a 590% increase on those who wish to prey on our children.
Okay, notice how we're not getting hard numbers. We got the 6,000 number with the exploited children, but again, that's a fairly common number. Up 22% from last year alone, citation needed. But you'll notice a lot of times he's just giving the percentage up 531%. So there was one person and then they got, 5 more and one pled down.
Those are just some examples, and I haven't even...
Those aren't examples.
...to the monumental success on...
Okay, FBI states, so these are the ones that put up. 25,000 violent crime arrests. Espionage arrests up 35%. 6,000 children located and rescued up 22%. Is that... Okay, the NVE arrests up 49%. 1.9 thousand fentanyl... 1.9 thousand fentanyl seized, up 31%. 1.9 thousand doesn't seem like a lot. Also, 1.9 thousand what? Tons?
Fentanyl, where we shut off precursors from China and have seized enough...
They have not shut off precursors from China. Fentanyl is still as easy to get as it was this time last year.
Fentanyl, 22% increase this year alone, enough to kill 127 million Americans.
Interesting that they have this up as he's saying it. Now, I guess maybe they pre-taped the show tonight so they were able to get ahead of it, but most of or they did this interview earlier and they pumped it in, but it sure looks like propaganda. It sure looks like Patel's office sent some stats over. Put these on the screen while I'm talking with crime tape and cop lights. So, because Fox News people like that.
Crushing violent crime. We're defending the homeland. When Dan and I got here, it was a rudderless ship. But we re-executed this mission. We defanged the weaponization that corrupted it. We jettisoned...
Yeah, not according to the report.
Those like these anonymous sources in this reporting, and all they have to talk about is anonymous sources and jackets and leather patches. They can have that all day long. The mission of this FBI is to serve the American people, and we are doing it at a level that has never been done before because of the leadership we have here, and thanks to President Trump's sweeping victory that demanded this place be...
And his shit-ass poll numbers that apparently the victory did not help buoy for any length of time.
...of weaponization and put it back on a course to prosecuting criminals, investigating criminals, and putting away terrorists. And that's what we are doing.
As the FBI investigates, hence the name, and they detain, they will, I suppose, arrest some folks on federal charges, but the DOJ charges people, not the FBI. The FBI is the investigative arm. U.S. Marshals usually take people into custody.
Every single day here.
You mentioned the thing about the patches and the gossipy stuff, which I know you laughed it off on Twitter, but on X, but they're saying, oh.
Yeah, that's what the rest of us are doing, laughing at you.
He refused to get off the plane in Utah after Charlie Kirk's assassination because he wanted a better fitting FBI raid jacket.
No, one at all, which he doesn't deserve the word raid on the back of it anyways? Like, isn't it, when is it not enough to just be the fucking director of the FBI?
Is that true? And does fashion really make the man, Kash?
It's 100% false. As you know, look, Laura, sadly, I was at 9/11 at Ground Zero in New York City on 9/11 because.
Yeah. So I think I got the date down.
I was a White House representative honoring those victims and their names being read. You were very familiar with that. Then we made the immediate decision after.
How? Also, why would you even need to go to the site of Charlie Kirk that you're not an investigator?
Charlie got shot in the neck, to fly to Utah unexpectedly to lead the manhunt to find the perpetrator in less than 33 hours because the FBI cut video, put it out in a press conference, and these people are worried about what.
Sorry, were you there to help edit? What'd you do? Use CapCut, you dumb motherfucker?
I was wearing and what patches I was wearing. I was honoring my men and women at the FBI. One of my.
No, you were not. You were borrowing their valor.
Agents
you were stealing valor from them.
Me a jacket and said, "Hey, boss, you should probably wear this. We're going into the command center." I said I'd be honored to wear that. And
welcome to Conversations That Never Fucking Happened.
And another one handed me the SWAT team badge of the unit that was protecting the area where Charlie was assassinated. I wore that with pride. These people can talk about my.
Why? How do you wear? Oh, you know how you wear it with pride? If you fucking earned it. It's not a participation trophy, you dumb motherfucker.
Appearances all they want, but look at the results. The FBI, this FBI, my FBI, the one that Dan and I are building here under President Trump, is succeeding in ways that no FBI has ever done so before.
It's just fucking gibberish.
So the institutionalists.
Tell that to Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols.
The anonymous reporters from the swamp D.C. bureaucracy are the ones.
Yes.
We are crushing. And that's how I know we're winning. And if Eric Swalwell wants to come online and talk about what jacket size I wear, I'm happy to send him a women's medium so him and Fang Fang can go out again.
And the Democrats are also, Mr. Director, supposedly going to investigate your use of the FBI jet, because they're claiming you've commandeered it for a personal joyride. Going to a wrestling event, I guess, for your girlfriend.
How else is he supposed to get there? Fly coach? It's fucking dangerous.
Is that true? And if so, if the Biden team did something like that, if it was true, I'd probably be hitting them tonight on television. But I thought I'd give you a chance to respond to that drive-by.
Yeah.
Would you cradle their balls while they lied all over your forehead?
It's simple. The FBI director, all FBI directors are required users of the FBI plane. They don't let me fly commercially. But my predecessors wasted millions of dollars because they were too lazy to drive an extra 20 minutes and go to Andrews Air Force Base. They used D.C. Reagan National as their personal hub, costing the taxpayer $4 million. I shut that policy off and mandated the use of government air.
You moved the plane closer?
Fields.
So you could leave whenever you wanted to?
I've also used the airplane less than my prior two predecessors. And yes, I'm entitled.
Yeah, but they were also engaged in actual outreach to law enforcement agencies instead of flying in to take credit for what they're doing.
To a personal life, just like my other agency had
Yeah, he's entitled to a personal life. Come on, guys.
Parts with their partners. So do I support my girlfriend? Absolutely. And do I take trips with her? Absolutely. But when they're talking about raid jackets and Velcro and FBI plane use, they are not talking about the facts because they know this FBI is succeeding in ways prior leadership failed. And those cronies will always stick together and, of course, band together. Also,
just gibberish, just like making up things out of whole cloth. And again, they're in a situation where I wouldn't necessarily trust their numbers anyways, but even still, the numbers aren't that impressive. They're well within the normal range of up and down years for big arrests and that kind of stuff, and are arguably lower than they were in, say, 2022 or 23.
Together with their enemies to come in and attack us. And our mission here is to protect the American people. Let me tell you one more stat that the American people are going to love. This FBI is on course to deliver the lowest murder rate in modern history by double digits. The lowest murder rate in modern history by double.
Sorry, what? The FBI is responsible for the lack of murders You guys only police like serial murder. How? What the fuck does that? No, that. Sorry, where all the people are, if the murder rate is going down, you don't get credit for that. The fucking Chicago, Baltimore, New York, LA, San Francisco, all those places, their murder rates are coming down. You don't get to claim that it was you that did it. Have you not stolen enough valor from your fellow FBI agents that you are now going to steal it from local law enforcement and the citizenry?
Digits. That's because we're out there in cities like Memphis leading the charge, in places like St. Louis and Miami and New York and elsewhere across the country.
Wait, sorry, you think people are not murdering because there's an FBI agent on the fucking corner?
Delivering the mission first mindset and putting agents in power in the
warrior ethos, etc. Also Hegseth words.
To make these arrests. You cannot have these results if you focus on what the media wants to write about you or what the Democrats want to investigate.
Sure you can. You don't actually do anything. If anything, the field offices are kicking ass. What's the policy difference? That literally was, I mean, besides diverting people from child trafficking investigations to and handing them over to fucking Kristi Noem and that crowd for DHS to use to chase down immigrants. Many of whom, by the way, who are here legally. What's the big shift in policy that you're going to say you're going to credit with lowering the murder rate? Notice you don't hear any of that.
I am the only FBI director to turn over information related to travel, and that information shows one thing. I am a steward of the taxpayer dollars. My predecessors weren't.
One moment, please. I'm going to guess that that would be part of oversight and always disclosed. Yeah, there we go. So, FBI directors are required to use government aircraft for all travel. Now, it does not mean, by the way, that they have to use the FBI jet. They can use other government. If there's a fucking military plane going in that direction, they can fucking catch a ride. The IRS has planes. If they're going to the West Coast, there's plenty of fucking planes going to and fro all over the country that are federal. You can catch a ride on one of those. For security reasons. For non-official travel, they must reimburse the government at the cost of a commercial flight. While specific details of personal travel are not publicly disclosed to protect the director's security, official accounting records exist and legislative bodies can demand them for transparency, such as the Hills report on Kash Patel's travel. Required use. The policy requires FBI directors to use government aircraft for all travel, including personnel trips, to ensure the security and ability to maintain secure communication in emergencies. Reimbursement. Directors must reimburse the government for the cost of a commercial flight for any personal travel. The director has discretion over how often to use the government aircraft for personal travel, but the reimbursement is mandatory. While the specific purpose of the flight is not public, flight logs are kept and records can be requested by Congress, notes The Intercept and Courthouse News. Oversight. Publicly available information, such as flight logs and open source intelligence, can be used by journalists and oversight committee to scrutinize travel, as shown in reports by The Hill, The Intercept, and Courthouse News. So, no, he isn't the only person to disclose it. He's been called out on it. He's defensive about it. That's not being defensive is not transparency.
They couldn't drive 20 extra minutes on every trip. I'll drive an extra hour if it saves the taxpayer an extra few bucks.
No, you don't.
Eric Swalwell has zero credibility on anything given his past. Mr. Director,
Hey, moron. We're not talking about Eric Swalwell's past, where he responded to the FBI saying that this person was a spy properly and ejected her and stopped all communications. We're talking about this guy's current situation. Did Swalwell continue to date Fang Fang? Did he marry her? Does he keep her in a love nest somewhere? Is that the allegation? That it's been an ongoing thing? Absolutely not. So we're talking about the ongoing behavior of this person.
Viewers also are just, they're chomping at the bit on why it took the Epstein files so long to be released. Any
They haven't been.
regrets there? Was that an unforced error? Just should we have gotten them out earlier? Just get them all out there? Just thought.
Just in case you forgot who he was. I have a better picture, though, I think. Hold on. Might be better if I do this. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, where's this? That's a good one. How about... let's go with... Yeah, this one works. I'll take this guy. Open image, a new tab. There we go. I'll take this guy. We'll shrink it down. And then I'll just have to make it smaller, I guess. I'm going to try to, do like that. How big is it? Okay, that's pretty reasonable in size. Excuse me, folks. I'm just doing a little bit of... there we go. How about this? That's a little better. Just, because I'm trying to help Laura out. I mean, she should have up-to-date stuff, right? Let's shrink this down. There we go. Bring this down here. And I just got to clean it up a little. You know what I mean? I can't be like Hamas Abi and these other dickheads phoning it in. All right. Sorry, you were saying.
Give you a chance to react to that.
Yeah, look, this FBI has produced 40,000 pages of documents to Congress. To put that in comparison, Wray put out 13,000 in 7 years, and Comey put out 3,000. We're committed to transparency. We're putting out as much as we can that is lawful and that is not prohibited by court orders. And
oh yeah, court orders. Which what court are we talking about? Trump-appointed judge, maybe?
Those are the things the DOJ is fighting still with judges in court to make sure we can reveal everything without breaking.
Oh, sorry. So Pam Bondi is fighting with judges right now to release more of the stuff because desperately she wants it all to come out.
The law, and that's what we're committed to doing. We're doing it as fast as we can, and we're going to keep doing it, not just on this, but about Arctic frost because of this FBI's discovery of the illegal surveillance of senators and staffers. You know about Russiagate because of mine and Devin's work from back in day, and we're going to continue those investigations.
Sorry, that's rude. I mean, he should be on camera, but...
You bet we have ongoing criminal investigations on both those fronts because the guy who launched Russiagate, me, as a senior staffer back in House Intel, is now the director of the FBI, and I'm not going to end this mission without destroying and leveling the full weaponization that occurred before I got here.
Oh, it's terrible.
Finally, I know you got to go, but are you hopeful about the future of the FBI? Given that institutional resistance and given the fact that there are obviously still deep state actors working against you, are you hopeful?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm more than hopeful. What I don't listen to is the swamp, and you know that better than anybody. What I do listen to is when I travel across the country and the communities of men and women around the country are coming up to us, not just the FBI employees, but the community saying, we have never felt...
Yeah, I'm certain that people are, that are able to talk to you as the FBI director who just randomly bump into you on the street are just blowing smoke up your fucking keister. Not like carefully vetted ass-kissing crowds and individuals who you already know are on the team, like Trump's little fucking cabinet gaggles.
Safer. We appreciate the work you're doing, especially safeguarding our children and our youth and our national...
Yeah, that's what they just generally say, like when he's in the mall.
Security and putting violent offenders in prison where they belong. I listen to the...
You don't put people in fucking prison. You don't. The DOJ does, or doesn't, and then Trump pardons them like a fucking Honduran drug dealer.
Voices of Americans across the country. So does this administration. What I do not listen to and never will listen to is the witchcraft that goes on in Washington, D.C.
The witchcraft? Is this you pushing back against the Christians like Candace Owens that are upset because you said "see you in Valhalla" to Charlie Kirk?
Because that's all they have left, and they're going to sell their pamphlets and try to raise money off of it. But my mission and this...
What? Selling pamphlets?
Mission of the FBI has never been stronger, and we are going to execute it every single day. Hope is...
Boom. Tough talk from a tough guy on a ladies' medium jacket.
Not a strategy. The mission of this FBI that we've laid out is...
Mr. Director, great to have you on. Don't be a stranger. Thank you.
Didn't she have sex with Dinesh D'Souza? Didn't Laura Ingraham and and Dinesh D'Souza knock boots. I don't know which end of that is more horrifying, but yikes. All right, so that's his. Like they let him come on Fox News and do a little CYA